Hey, welcome to Digital Nomad Journey. This is Andrew. This is the beginning, one of my new Q&A live series. I'm fumbling on my tongue already. That's not a good sign. This is Digital Nomad Journey, where we support digital nomads and remote workers seeking the laptop lifestyle and being location independent. And as I was trying to explain just a moment ago, this is a relatively new series. Welcome to episode 8 of my live streaming series where I'm committed to going live for you 3 times a week. Let's just do a quick audio check. There we go. Yeah, because sometimes you can't trust technology. So this is once again getting back onto track here. I have my intention, my commitment is to go live for you 3 days a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 4 p.m. UK time, 11 a.m. Eastern, and 8 a.m. Pacific every single week. I follow a number of people online that I respect and I trust, and I noticed a new trend of some of these people that I trust going live on a very regular basis. And I wanted to make myself available to all of you, the people who are perhaps looking at considering a new lifestyle change, a new career choice, a new path that leads down towards being a digital nomad or a remote worker, even if that just means working from the comfort of your own home. I was inspired to create this brand during the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic. I understand that a lot of people are struggling out there these days. Excuse me. And I certainly wish that I had a resource that I could turn to, a community that I could turn to 2 years ago when I first sought out to be a digital nomad. So this is still relatively a new brand. I'm super stoked and excited and pumped to bring you the very best content that I can come across. I just did another interview yesterday with a digital nomad who has been living the nomadic lifestyle for 18 years. And on top of that, she's also a career coach. So I'm excited to get that edited and published on the channel for you to enjoy. We had a great chat, and I think that's going to be really insightful for a lot of people considering this lifestyle choice. So what are we going to talk about today, Andrew? Why are you... Oh, and before we dive in, if you're here live, thank you so much. I appreciate you because you could be doing anything else but watching me blabber on. But the whole point for me to do these live sessions, these live Q&As, is for me to be available for you to answer your questions. I do have some information that I want to share that's going to be quite helpful. But if you are here live and you have questions for me, please drop it in the chat. I'll pull it up here and drop it in the chat. I'm using OBS, so I'll be able to see you here. I'll check back often to see if there are any questions that I should address. And besides that, and something else that you might want to take a hard look at is this free book, The Digital Nomad Lifestyle Guide. I wrote it earlier this year and published it not that long ago during the pandemic, during the crisis. And I made it totally free because I'm trying to help as many people as I possibly can. And my hope is if I make the book free, perhaps more people will feel that they can access it. So just go to digitalnomadjourney.com/free book to get your free copy today. The link is also in the description below. Okay, what are we going to talk about today? What are we going to talk about? That's the question. We are going to address what are the top markets that are expected to boom. And I'm going to come at this with the angle from the digital nomad or the remote worker perspective. And before we even dive in, I should quickly ask for you to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. If you hit that little bell icon that's below me right now, you'll be notified every time I go live, every time I publish a new video, so that you don't miss the content that is being shared right away. And quite oftentimes, sometimes information can be a little bit time sensitive. So if you do get that notification, then you'll have a higher likelihood of getting access to the information as early as possible. And I do commit myself to bringing really helpful information. This is, I'm going to avoid fluff at all costs. Okay, now let's get into it. Can you tell that I'm still new at doing live streams? So we're going to talk about the markets that are expected to boom. This is a subject I'm very interested in. I find myself, I wrote about it in my book. I find myself talking about it with people online in different forums, and people direct message me. Not everybody feels comfortable leaving a comment on a public forum, and I totally understand. If you don't want to join the live chat, or leave, if you're watching the recorded version of this and you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment or a question below in the comment section, feel free to direct message me. You'll find Digital Nomad Journey on any major social media platform. We're on Instagram, Twitter, we have a Telegram community chat. You're going to find all the links in the description below. So feel free to send me a direct message, and I will, if I don't have the answer for you, I promise I will get it for you, because I am obsessed and committed with getting my hands and my paws on the very best content. Okay, so what are the top markets, Andrew? What are the best markets approaching this from a remote capacity? And this is something that's always fascinated me, because whether you're looking for a job and you're an employee, or you're a freelancer looking for clients, or you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to create the next big thing, the next big product, the next big service, it's imperative. Oh my God, it's so important to make sure that there is a market available. Make sure that there's a paying customers. Make sure that there's attention going in that direction. Gary Vaynerchuk is probably the world's most popular marketer today, and he famously describes himself as an attention day trader. And because of that, his brand, his business, his messages have grown exponentially over the last few years. You don't even have to be a marketer or have to be in technology to have heard his name. He is a true titan in the industry, and he'll tell you that he's a day trader of attention. So where's the attention going? Where is all the attention going right now? Okay, here's the first batch. Maybe a little bit more on the obvious side, but at-home business. If you were to find a job, become an entrepreneur, or get clients as a freelancer to support at-home business, you are probably going to do very well in the coming months and years, because that is the trends we're showing. More and more remote workers, more and more digital nomads, even before COVID-19. And now COVID-19 has exposed all these corporate and business vulnerabilities. Excuse me. And now these companies, these businesses, are going to want to protect themselves from the downside of the next crisis. A lot of companies have committed to a fully 100% remote workforce. Some have committed a portion. Big companies like Twitter and Facebook and others have already come up with announcements stating that their employees will be allowed to work remotely from home in perpetuity forever, because they recognize the value in that. The surveys and the reports being shared for over the past few months have all shown nothing but positives. There are a few negatives, but like in anything in life, there's no negative impact that you can't mitigate somehow. So if you are supporting or helping people transition to an at-home business, or helping improve their processes to be a functional business working from home, you're probably going to do really well. At-home fitness. At-home fitness has been a growing trend for a long time now, but again, COVID-19 just gave it that boost, gave it that massive push to become even more mainstream. There's the popular exercise bike called Peloton, and there's all kinds of at-home exercise products that people can't get their hands on fast enough right now because the gyms are closed. And even when the gyms reopen, and maybe where you are they've already reopened, my guess is many of these business models would not have survived the lockdown for this long. And how many of the businesses that did survive, how many of their clientele will come back? Because now we have people more worried, more concerned, more self-aware about germs, about interacting or exposing themselves to locations with high density of people. There's always going to be that percentage of the people, that percentage of your clientele that will not come back. They will not return based off of what they've learned, based off what they've seen in the news. We've gone, in Western society, Western culture, we've gone from not wearing masks to now going into public places wearing masks. Well, how comfortable are you going to be working out in the gym wearing a mask over your face that's hampering your breathing? You know, this is the reality that we live in today. So come on, at-home fitness, that's a no-brainer. And then following up on that, immune system support. Think of all the products and services and businesses out there that will benefit by just providing a valuable service or product that will support people's immune system support. A few months ago, 6 months ago, This wasn't a subject that was trending. This wasn't a subject that was sexy or popular or anything. But now you have everyday folk, everyday Joes that are talking about these kinds of issues, because now all of a sudden it's their awareness around these subjects are have skyrocketed, have just grown exponentially. And then following up on that, antimicrobial products. Think about all the cleaning supplies and products that people use in their houses, and wanting to make sure that the sprays and the cleaners and everything that they're doing are not only environmentally friendly but are also healthy, and they're not going to harm your kids, they're not going to harm your pets, that they're not going to cause more harm than good. There have been various cleaning products over the years that were deemed dangerous and then were taken off the shelves. But think about all the products that are going to support and keep our kitchens and our bathrooms and our living quarters and our working quarters clean. It's just booming, a booming subject. It wasn't booming a few months ago, but now it is, and I don't see it dying off anytime soon. Okay, so how about number 5, air purification? I had a friend years ago that was in the commercial space for air purification, and he was explaining to me all the complicated airflow formulas and whatnot. And I can only imagine where that business is going to go. You know, every time I don't watch a lot of TV, but the times that I do watch TV and I do look at the commercials, you see these different products like from Dyson and whatnot that are selling fans and air, and everything's got an air filter in it because everyone wants to breathe clean air. And you have parts of the world that unfortunately don't have very clean air to breathe. And I've even come across some business models where people were bottling clean air in Canada and various parts of the world and shipping bottles of air so that people could just get a little bit, a sniff, just, excuse me, a little sniff of clean air, which is, it's incredible that that is a business model, but it is. Excuse me. Sometimes I need to take a little water break. All right, let's take a quick look at the chat. And if you're here live, make sure you drop your comments and questions in the chat to the side here so that I can address them for you. If you are a new digital nomad, if you're looking to optimize your digital nomadic lifestyle, I'd be more than happy to help you out. This is still a relatively new Q&A live series, and my YouTube channel is still relatively new as well, but I'm making myself available to you to help the best I can. Okay, so next batch here. Number 6, virtual reality, VR, AR, augmented reality for education and entertainment purposes. I suspect that this is probably one of the markets that has the most space to grow, because, and it's something that I think about often because YouTube. Let's just talk about YouTube quickly. You're probably watching me on YouTube right now. YouTube is the second busiest website on the planet, and it's the second busiest search engine on the planet. When you want to search for something, you go to Google. When you want to learn about something, you tend to go to, I shouldn't say everybody, but most people go to YouTube when they want to learn about something new or when they want to be entertained. I suspect that eventually, when virtual reality and AR become more mainstream, that YouTube will roll out a virtual reality hub, a virtual reality division, department, area. Because you can only imagine, I know people today that go to YouTube to learn how to fix their car brakes, or to solve some kind of computer issue because they don't know what happened. Like not too long ago, my Bluetooth stopped working, or to, and I find myself doing it all the time. When I need to learn a new skill, I'll go to YouTube. You might be here right now because you want to learn how to be a digital nomad. So how much easier would it be for you to learn how to do something if you could go to YouTube, slide on your virtual reality set or your AR glasses, and put in those gloves or whatever you have to hold, and then learn how to do that skill, learn how to play the piano, learn how to do something with your VR set, take off your VR set, and then go do it in real life. I can't help but think that that's the future. I just can't help but think that that's where we're going. And because that technology is still very much in its infancy, I can't shake this feeling that it has a long way to go. And the couple years ago, when I was able to try a buddy of mine, was visiting him, and he had a VR set, and I tried it, and I was blown away. I was completely blown away with the quality and what that was able to bring a person. So Imagine where we're going to be a year from now or 2 years from now. We already have examples right now of, I think it was Walmart and Facebook. Don't quote me because I read this article a while ago where they were using VR to help train their employees, and different enterprises out there that were using apps on their new employees' phones to gamify the training process. So it's exciting. It's a really exciting time. And if you're looking for a job, if you're looking for clients, or if you're looking to be an entrepreneur in a new exciting space, this is a market you should be taking close attention to, depending on where your skills and your goals and your aspirations lie. This is an exciting one. Esports and gaming, that's a no-brainer, and it obviously touches on what I was just talking about. Gary Vee actually talks about this a lot too. Esports is blowing up. Esports, these e-athletes are, before COVID, they were filling entire stadiums. They're the numbers and the volume and the attention and the dollars and the euros and the pounds that are being funneled towards esports is exploding. So I can't imagine not getting in that industry, in that market, in that industry, and not benefiting. I think that's an obvious place that people crave to be entertained, and esports is not showing any time of slowing down anytime soon. And gaming just keeps getting better and better. I'm not a gamer myself, and that's by design, because I know I wouldn't get anything done, but that's just me. Family connection. This recent crisis highlighted the fact that some of our elderly were highly exposed and at a much higher risk. They had higher fatality rates if you were over 70, and you were going to be deemed much more exposed, much more dangerous, or perhaps those family members that already have immune system diseases or ailments that negatively impact and affect their immune system, they're also highly exposed. So imagine those family members, how lonely they got over the past few months. Imagine how isolated they felt. So think of all the products and services that will support your loved ones during the next crisis, during the next pandemic, during the next natural disaster, what have you. Whatever the reason is, we have to logically think and be prudent about this and be pragmatic about this, to assume that this is not the last crisis we're going to see. And we're always going to survive crises, but how can we do it in such a way that our loved ones don't feel so left behind, left alone? And there's plenty of business opportunities right there that can serve this marketplace, that the market has deemed that there's massive value in this area. Products made in America, the UK, Canada, etc. We've noticed globalization on a massive scale over recent years, driving down labor costs, outsourcing this, outsourcing that. And then now, over the last few months, countries have recognized that imposed a massive risk. I recently came across some information that was just scary, just flat out scary, about how the bulk of all medication and antibiotics are made and distributed from China. It was something crazy like 80%. Again, don't quote me, but I know it's the majority of the medication that's manufactured on the planet. And that is a scary prognosis. That is a scary prognosis. And countries worldwide are realizing how exposed they were to any disaster, any crisis that was to negatively impact the supply chain. How are they going to take care of their citizens? How are they going to take care of their people that they're responsible for? That they were voted. These politicians were voted into power to plan for these kinds of events. And if you don't have enough masks, if you don't have enough cleaning supplies, if you don't have enough PPE, personal protective equipment, then how are you going to mitigate that? And you got to manufacture it at home. So think about any business model that will support buying products at home. And because now the other side of that coin is the work, the labor, the jobs. People want to support their local economies. So if they see the opportunity to buy a product that was made somewhere else versus buying a product that was made right here, people are more aware now than ever before how important jobs are. Chances are they are going to support their local economy and buy the product that was made locally, right in their backyard. So that's something to be cognizant of. Okay, number 10, contactless products. I've talked about this before. The best example that I like to use is, can you imagine how popular it would be if someone were to design a concept, a viable concept, to go out there and replace every single elevator button in the world with a contactless button, so you could just wave your hand in front of the button. Because I mean, before the crisis, I never liked touching those gross things before, anyways. And now there's even more reason to avoid touching those surfaces that tend to be touched by a lot of people. Excuse me. And elevator buttons is just the example I like to use, but you can, after a little bit of thought and a little bit of creativity, I'm sure you could think of anyone between a dozen and 100 things that involve you touching a hard surface throughout the day that's been touched by other people. We've already seen it in recent years where cell phones have been incorporating certain apps that allow you to wave in front of the phone to operate something, and we've seen it in on the tail end of trucks, minivans, SUVs, where we've probably all seen the commercial where you're carrying your groceries back to your vehicle and you just have to move your foot underneath the bumper and the rear door will open up and you can put your bags inside. So there's all kinds of contactless products and services out there that I think will explode in the coming months and years to come as well, as something else also to consider. All right. Are you guys enjoying this? Are you enjoying this? Whether you're watching the live version or the recorded version, I hope you're finding value in this, because I'm pumped to share it with you, and I hope I get to keep making these live streams for you in the future. Moving on, home cooking, food delivery. Again, no brainer. Restaurants were shut down, and people were looking for jobs, and a lot of these a lot of these restaurants had to convert into to incorporate delivery into their service model, where they never had it before. Some of these high end fine dining restaurants who had never done delivery in their entire existence had to switch to a delivery model just to stay in business and keep their doors open. I've heard a lot of speculation lately about moving forward the restaurant industry. We actually may witness a percentage of the restaurants become these mobile kitchens where there is no more sit-in, dine-in service, where the restaurant will open up and prepare the food, but it will 100% be delivery. And there were plenty of examples out there too, where pizza restaurants, for instance, there are plenty of pizza restaurants out there that their entire business model, or 70% of their income, was selling pizza by the slice, and that business model completely vanished overnight with COVID-19. And I heard of one example of one restaurant that they actually used their pizza oven to help construct the facial shields, the facial mask shields, to use the heat from their oven to bend the shields into the proper forms, and then provided hospitals and local first responders with this PPE. And I was blown away when I heard that, because that is fascinating, that you can think outside of the box and keep your business operating just by providing a service that is badly needed, that the market deemed of value. And I congratulate anyone who can think outside of the box and provide value to the marketplace in a way like that. Fishing, hiking, camping, etc. Any solo activity or activities that you can do with your partner, your family, your immediate family. We have completely witnessed a massive downturn in organized professional sports in, as far as I know, every professional league out there. And there was a lot of damage done. I've even seen some social posts recently. I'm a social media professional. I spend a lot of my time on social media, and I've even witnessed some people posting on their social media profiles stating along the lines of, "Wow, I didn't realize how little value watching sports brought my life," or "I didn't realize how I would never miss watching sports. I didn't really," and I've actually been shocked to see how many people posting about this, because this experience made them realize that, yeah, okay, it was entertaining, it was fun to watch sports, but there was so much more meaning they were able to get out of their lives when they shifted their attention to something else, to spend time with their loved ones, or to create a business, or whatever the reason is. There are a lot of, I've seen posts out there where people are sharing that watching sports didn't bring them as much joy as they once assumed or once felt it did. So there's that component. Then there's just the fitness component. A lot of people like to play sports to stay fit. But if you take away the sport because it's no longer deemed safe, a lot of people had to transition to something else and took up fishing or hiking or camping or any one of these cycling, any one of these physical activities that allows you to work on your body and work up a sweat without risking yourself to a group of people and possibly exposing yourself to a virus or a germ or something. So that's something to take into consideration. Lawn garden. There's a lot of people out there that believe green space has a massive therapeutic value, and which is one of the reasons why a lot of people probably have these at-home gardens, to have that green space to go to meditate, to quiet the mind, and to reclaim some peace. But then the other part of that too is to have an at-home garden. We've now witnessed a lot of these the value of people growing an at-home garden. If you have the space, if you have the facilities, if you have the facilities to have an at-home garden, you will be able to provide for yourself even when the local grocery store, the local shops might not be accessible. They might not be open. They might not be. Maybe you can't reach them anymore because of transportation problems. But you have an at-home garden that could sustain you and your family for some period of time. And I understand what you're going to say if you're like, but Andrew, I don't have the space. I live in a tiny flat. I live in a tiny apartment. I don't have any information here in front of me, but I do know that there are those tower gardens. Those tower gardens. A good friend of mine back home in Canada has had one for years, where you can grow fresh food right inside your home, as long as you can properly get the light, necessary light, the necessary hydration and water. You can grow your veggies and spices and herbs and whatnot into this vertical column. And if I find a link on that, I'll be sure to include it in the YouTube description below after we're done the live stream component. I should have done that ahead of time, but that's that's another business model that's expected to just take off. That's another market and industry that's just expected to do well. Online education, homeschooling and distant education. This is probably a no-brainer. This has been growing massively over recent years. And again, COVID-19 just gave it that little bump. And people are now realizing the value and watching free YouTube videos to learn a brand new skill. There are people learning how to code, learning how to be software developers by watching free videos on YouTube. Forbes posted an article that I shared on my social media recently, stating that they published this a couple years ago, well before COVID-19, stating certain predictions about how many billions of dollars a day will be spent on online e-education in the coming years, and COVID-19 is just going to speed that up. So again, a huge market, a huge potential for anyone looking for a job, clients, or a possible entrepreneur business opportunity. That is something that is going to grow exponentially. I'm very bullish on online education. Number 15, content creators. How about all the people out there that are looking to transition into becoming a content creator? Maybe they want to start a YouTube channel. Maybe they want to start a blog. Maybe they want to start a podcast. Maybe they want to start, like, I can go on and on and on. Any one of the millions of things that a new content creator can create, and they're going to need to learn how to do that. So maybe you design the course, maybe you design some products, maybe you get a job working for a new content creator to help improve their chances of success. But that's going to be a big one coming up too. All right, what do we got here? Now we got the last slide here, last one, 17. You've made it to the end. Congratulations. Number 16, software businesses going virtual for the first time. Lots of businesses out there were not prepared. Duh, Andrew, right? Yeah, no brainer. A lot of businesses out there were not prepared to transition to have their entire workforce, or a good portion of their workforce, working from home. There are optimization concerns. There are IT security concerns, like malware and data breaches and whatnot. There are a million concerns with a company going remote for the first time when they're not prepared. And if you are willing or able or capable to enter this market, you're going to do well. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball or anything. I'm not telling the future, but I suspect that is a market that's going to do exceptionally well in the coming years, especially since technology is so hard to keep up with, isn't it? Like, that's a no-brainer too. It's so hard to keep up with, and the hackers, they're going to hack, and they always seem to be one step ahead of a lot of people out there. And I'm not trying to scare you, but The market will see a lot of value in that area moving forward. And then finally, number 17, complementary products and services that will support any one of the 16 ideas that I just shared with you right now. So the example, I mean, what kind of example? I don't see any questions in the live chat. I'm wondering if, so let's see here. Let's go back. Let's just pick one. Let's just pick one randomly. Okay, lawn and garden. Lawn and garden. You say to me, Andrew, I don't know the first thing about lawn and garden. How am I supposed to enter that market and take advantage of the booming market? I'd say, well, if you're an educator, you could find an influencer in the lawn and garden area, in the lawn and garden market, and you could help that influencer create an online course to help brand newbies do their at-home lawn and garden needs, right? Or if you're a marketer, you could help that influencer market and grow their business to reach more people. That could be social media. That could be SEO, search engine optimization. That could be funnel building and optimization, designing a funnel to attract your ideal audience, your ideal clients. That could be pay-per-click advertising, PPC. I mean, I can go on, and I'm just riffing here right now. I could go on and on and on. So you could pick any one of these 16 markets, and depending on your skill sets and your desire, your goals, your aspirations, your network, your business relationships and whatnot, you could easily support and enter one of these markets and leverage the skills you have. Or if you have an interest in developing a brand new skill set, all the power to you. You're definitely in the right channel if that's what you're here for, if that's where you're dreaming about. That is something that you can take into account, and you could support any one of these 16 markets, these 16 industries, doing what you do well. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to double down and triple down on the tasks and the responsibilities that you're already good at, and leave everything else for someone else that's better at it than you, right? I truly believe that is the formula for success. So don't see any questions in the chat today. But once again, I do plan on maintaining these live streams for you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 4 p.m. UK, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. It looks like I've gone a little late today. I'm going to try to keep these to 30 minutes. But this is a subject I'm passionate about, if you can't already tell, and I'm super pumped to share this valuable content with all of you. But if you're here because you want to learn how to be a digital nomad or a remote worker, maybe this is a massive shift that you want to make, I highly recommend to join a community. There's a Telegram link to the Telegram community chat for the Digital Nomad Journey Telegram group in the description below. Get this book. Get this book. It's free. It's free. I've already started receiving lots of positive feedback from people that some people can read it in a single day. Some people read it in a week. It's not going to take you a long time to review this content, but it doesn't matter if you want to be an entrepreneur, an employee, or a freelancer. There's content in this book that's going to help you out. So I hope you found this live stream helpful and valuable. I appreciate you. I thank you for being here. I am committed to bring a lot more valuable content to you in the future. So make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and click that bell icon so that you're notified when I'm posting more important videos in the future. I really appreciate you sticking with me here all the way until the end. And if you're watching the recorded version of this, you might want to watch these YouTube videos, since YouTube is telling you that you might be interested in those as well. Thanks for being here. Own the day. Make it yours. Take care.